in here for this workshop. I appreciate that so much. We're gonna have so much fun. And this workshop, you don't have to have any artistic skill, or you can have tons of skill. It doesn't, it's a workshop for everybody. And one of the big things I wanted to talk about in this workshop is the senses. Especially this show, I feel like we've just got a very unique opportunity with the incredible artists that are here and the type of art that we have for us to be able to talk about this. But because they say that the visual arts are about seeing, really. But I've learned over the years that it's really more about the heart than it is the eyes. It's about feeling your way through the world. Because we feel through chaos, we feel our way through fear, through happiness, and then we use art to be able to express that. And in our lives, we use all of our senses. So, you're walking down the street and you might smell bread baking, and you can feel the sun on your skin, and you can hear the birds chirping or music playing somewhere. So in life, we just use all of our senses all the time, and that's how we know the world. But it's funny because, like, if you walk into an art museum very often or many galleries, that you're supposed to be quiet. Like, shush, don't make any sound, and you're not supposed to touch anything. And so it's just, it's very much limited to just vision. So today, I just wanted to explore the different senses and how we can use them in art. So this is going to be a multi-sensory sort of thing, and it's very much a discussion. So we can chat, we can talk about things. If you have any questions, and also at the end of it, if anybody has any questions. But also, if anybody has a question or something, good. I was going to say, if you have a question, don't raise your hand. I won't see it, so you can just say it. And if y'all need any help or anything during the... Did somebody say they had a question? Oh, I thought... Somebody did?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody say they had a question?
Oh.
I'm sorry, my hearing isn't great. I thought somebody said I do. It's just the demons in my head, I guess. Okay. Well, but I also wanted to tell you guys or share with you why art means so much to me and why I started art. Because when I started painting like 24 years ago, the idea of a visual artist that was a non-visual visual artist wasn't really a thing. There was a guy in Turkey, and we didn't know each other at the time, so I just thought I was crazy. But so whenever I got into painting, I thought this is it. Like, I just lost my mind. But I had a lot of health problems growing up. I had epilepsy since I was 2. I had a kidney removed by the time I was 7. Ended up getting other health problems, and that led to me losing my eyesight when I was in college. And I had 2 things really going for me, though. I had incredible people that wouldn't let me give up, and they had art in my life that gave me a reason not to give up. So I just had these 2 wonderful things, and on a bad day, I would do art. I would draw. And it gave me a great way to be able to deal with it. And on a good day, art gave me a really great way to be able to celebrate it. So I just drew every day. But I didn't do any painting. I didn't think I'd be a good painter, and I didn't have the courage to try something, I guess, I didn't have the courage really to try something I didn't think I'd be good at. But I was a really good armchair painter. Like, I would read about all these different artists and their studios, and about what kind of paints they would use and how they would set their studios up. And I just loved that. But I didn't actually paint myself. And then in college, whenever the eyesight went, I'd always use art to be able to deal with any kind of bad thing going on in my life, any kind of negativity, any terrible thing. And then suddenly that was gone, and the idea of me being able to do art, it felt like it was gone forever. But I was really fortunate that people at my university, they made it where I was able to stay there, and I was able to start learning all the stuff that I needed to learn. And one of the things was the cane. So I started learning orientation and mobility training. That's where you learn how to use a white cane. And so I would just practice. And after about a year, I got to where I would leave my apartment and be able to get to the university. And it wasn't very far, but it just felt huge. But it gave me the idea because suddenly I was able to leave my apartment and I could cross streets and not get hit by a car, not knock over too many people or anything. So I thought, well, goodness, if I could get across this, with all this chaos and stuff going on, then surely I could cross something much smaller, like a canvas. So I just started using the same techniques that I had with orientation mobility, where you learn to navigate by touch, you start breaking the spaces down, you make mental maps with it. So it's all those sorts of techniques. And then I'm combining it with art techniques that have been around for centuries. So doing that, it made it where I was able to start drawing again. And that's something that I really want to be able to share with you guys. One of the things I'm wondering, so in our life, we use all of our senses, and touch is a huge one. And one of the main ways that I paint is through using touch. Whenever I draw lines, I draw lines that we can touch and feel. And a little while, that's something I want to share with you guys, that to be able to paint the way that I paint. But touch is just huge. It's such an important part of our lives. If something bad happens in our life, first thing we want to do is reach out to someone. It's just instinctual. Even a baby gets hurt, the first thing they do is the first thing they'll do is cry. But then they'll reach out to their parent or someone to pick them up. Or if you're happy, you want to slap somebody on the back, or in football, somebody makes a touchdown and suddenly they start slapping everybody on the butt, which I don't know if they're slapping each other on the butt, but it's important to them, so I guess it's okay. But it's just, if you go to shake somebody's hand and they don't shake your hand, you feel it on a very visceral sort of level. And so touch just has a lot of meaning. So we use touch in our lives to be able to do things. Like there's a lot of times that we use touch in our lives to be able to kind of do the work that our hands do. So even if you're sighted, when you're driving down the car, when you're driving in a car going down the road. My son, he's 17, he just learned how to drive. So it was really, really interesting to watch somebody going through that process right then, where you're like, oh, which foot do I use? Where do I put my hands? And all of this stuff. And then in a few months, it's the last thing he's thinking about. He's just talking about his day as he's driving me around. And then suddenly people are on the highway going 70 miles an hour. And you'll go through all these cities you won't even remember going through. Or if anybody plays in video games these days, like last video game I played was Mario, with had 2 buttons and a little plus controller thing. And now there are these controllers that just have buttons and dials all over the thing. And of course the people, they're not looking at their hands, they're looking at the screen. And they're able to work the whole little remote control just by using their touch and visualize using it. So today I was wondering if y'all wanted to, because I feel like this is a really unique show. And but I was wondering if y'all would like to do touch in a little bit of a different way before we get into the painting. One way that I use touch is to be able to navigate. And I know that we have some people here that have visual impairments, and they might be able to help with this, or if anybody that doesn't want to do this, you don't have to. But if anybody would like to learn how to do sighted guide, how to guide a person with a visual impairment, does that sound interesting? Would anybody like to do that? It'll probably take about 10 minutes, and then we can guide each other around for a little bit, but it's such a